Hi guys and girls, today we're solving more algebraic equations, okay, and this is just a video to help you expand your toolkit in the sort of algebraic equations that you feel comfortable in solving, okay. With all of these, we're going to need to know the power of powers rule, which is just that a to the b to the power of n equals a to the bn. That when I've got powers of powers, I can just times those numbers. That's what that's saying essentially. Okay, so let's get started. Here I've got to the power of 3n plus 1. Okay, and I've got to solve for n. My mission is to say n equals this. Okay, so my first step is that I've got one thing to the power of 2 and a number 64. Okay, but I know that 64 equals 2 to the power of 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. So 2 to the power of 6. Okay, so now I have 2. So I might put some lines to make me a bit neater. Okay, I've got 2 to the power of 3n plus 1 equals 2 to the power of 6. Okay, with that in mind, and with the sort of the conclusion from the last video, we can get rid of the 2's and say that 3n plus 1, this exponential, has to equal 6, this exponential. Okay, once we've got to that step, it's just a case of adding 1 to both sides. We get, taking 1 away from both sides, and we get 3n equals 5. Thus, n equals 5 thirds. Okay. Cool. So, next one, same procedure. We've got to get this 8 into something that's the same as the 4. Okay, now unfortunately, sort of like if you square root 8, you get a number that's not 4. Okay, and if we divide 8 by 4, we get 2. What we can do is put both of those as powers of 2. Okay, which is the trick in the question. 4 is the power of 2, 2 to the power of 2, 8 is 2 to the power of 3. Okay, so what we can do is go 2 outside of 2x equals 2 to the 3 to the power of x minus 1. Okay, now a mistake a lot of people make is just going straight to writing them as powers of 2 without putting them in brackets in their own powers, because we still need to times this out and follow the rule. So we've got 2 to the power of 4x equals 2 to the power of 3x minus 3. The expanding the brackets rule still holds. Okay, I'm expanding my brackets. I've got to go first times first, first times last. Okay, now I can say 4x equals 3x minus 3. Then take 3x away from both sides and end up with x equals negative 3. Okay, and I'm done. Cool. So at this point, I'd encourage you to pause the video and have a go at 4 for yourself, remembering the rules and things that we've done so far. And then after you think you've got an answer, sort of like just skip to the end and see if yours matches mine. If you think that it's been a bit hard or you sort of don't know where to start, have a go, and if you can't get to sort of something that looks all right, then watch the rest of the video and I'll explain how to do it step by step. Okay, so I'm assuming you've tried it. And the first thing I'd say is just it follows the same rules as the last one, yeah? Okay, so we've got 2 to the x, and it's being timesed by 8 to the 3x minus 1, which is the same as 2 to the 3, because 8 is 2 to the 3, times 3x minus 1, okay? Which equals, as we said before, to the power of 6, okay? Now, this is a little bit tricky in that when we times, we've still got to follow the rule that we add the indices, okay? So this is where people run into trouble. When you times, we still need to add the indices. So we've got getting rid of the 2, we've got x from that without the base of 2, then we've got plus, because we're going to get rid of this and we go straight to the indices, we add the indices because we're timesing here. We add the indices, this becomes a plus because we're timesing here. When you times two things with the same base together, you add the indices. In the equation, we're adding. Okay, so we've got 3 times 3x, which is 9x, and then we've got 3 times minus 1, which is negative 3. And all of that equals 6. Okay, same equation, but without the 2's. And because it's no longer a base, we've got to respect the fact that we add them now. Okay, when you times the indices, you add, when you times the numbers, you add the indices. Okay, so take 3 from both sides, and we end up with 9 equals x plus 9x. And we end up with 10x equals 9. And I'm running out of space, so I'll write over here. X equals 9 over 10. Okay, and we're done. Key things to remember here are that sort of like we can still follow that rule, which I've sort of posed up the top to find the indices. All the indices need to be in the same base before you can do an equation. Okay, but once they're in the same base, you can equation away. Okay, just remember to follow the rules of that when we times times two numbers together that are in index form, we add the indices, and that's why they're different signs over there. Sometimes I'll make mistakes, but that's one that sort of like is deliberate. It's got to change to a times. Sorry, it's got to change from a times to a plus. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. Bye guys and girls.